Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk with you about ions. And what ions are, they are charged molecules and charged atoms. So if you talk about H without the charge, it's a hydrogen atom. And if you talk about H plus, you talk about a hydrogen ion. There are two different ions. You have cations and anions. Cations and anions. And a cation is an ion with a positive charge, like H plus. It has a positive charge, so positive. And an anion is an ion with a negative charge, like OH minus. It has a negative charge. To determine the charge of an ion, you can look at the oxidation number of the atom. So if you look at H, it has oxidation number 1 plus and 1 minus, so you can find H plus and H minus as ions. So hydrogen cation and hydrogen anion. Why this is the case is if you look at the electron configuration, if hydrogen gets one electron, it has a full shell, but then it also has a negative charge, and if it loses one electron, it has no electrons in its shells, so it's stable, but it has a positive charge because it has more protons than electrons. If you look at a molecule with a charge, for instance OH minus, you see that the oxidation number of O is 2 minus, and of H it's in this case 1 plus. So you do 1 minus 2, which leaves minus 1 as the charge. So OH minus is the charge of the OH minus anion. How you can also look at it is if you take a molecule, for instance water, so H2O. This is the molecule, it has no charge. But now the electrons in the bond between this H and this O will go towards the O, and this will create an OH minus ion, OH minus ion, and a hydrogen plus ion. And if you want to determine which way the electrons will move, so why do they go from towards the oxygen and not, I will draw it in orange, towards the hydrogen? This will not happen. You have to look at the electronegativity, and the electronegativity is how much a certain atom likes to take on ions, likes to take on electrons. And this, the electron negativity, if you look at the periodic table, increases when you move from left to right. So if you look at carbon and you look at oxygen, oxygen is more electronegative than carbon. So it likes more to take on electrons, and it goes up from the bottom to the top. So if you look at iodine and chlorine, chlorine will has a higher electronegativity. It likes more to to take the electrons. So if you look again at H2O, hydrogen is all the way to the left, so it has a really low electronegativity, while oxygen is pretty far to the right, so it has a higher electronegativity. So oxygen will take the electrons, so you will get OH minus and H plus, not OH plus and H minus.